They said heroes wear capes. But on that cold morning, the real hero was a single dad in grease-stained boots who never imagined that saving a stranger's life would change his own forever. If you believe in kindness and second chances, subscribe. Now and drop your city's name in the comments below. Let's see where this story reaches around the world. It all began on a quiet morning. That didn't seem like it would matter to anyone else. The sun had just risen above the rooftops, painting the city in a warm golden glow, while people hurried about with their own lives, rushing to offices, schools, and homes. For David, however, this was just another day off survival. A poor single dad, covered in grease from fixing cars at the rundown ridge where he worked. His hands carried the scars of years of labor. Life had not been kind to him. He hadn't dreamed of being an engineer, of building something lasting. But those dreams faded the day his wife passed away, leaving him with a 5-year-old daughter and nothing but unpaid bills. Still, David carried on with quiet strength, not for himself, but for the little girl who looked up at him with purest love in her eyes. But fate has a way of turning ordinary mornings into extraordinary moments. That day, as David walked out of the garage during his lunch break, he heard a loud crash at the intersection nearby. Tires screeched, horns blared, and a scream pierced the air. Without hesitation, he sprinted toward the chaos, his boots pounding the pavement. What he saw made his heart skip. Sleek black cars mashed against a lamppost, smoke curling from its hood. Inside, a woman in a red dress lay slumped over the wheel, unconscious, blood trickling down her forehead. People stood frozen, too afraid to act. But David didn't waste a second. Forced the door open with his bare hands. Ignoring the burning pain, twisted metal scraped his skin. Gritting his teeth, he lifted her fragile body in his arms, her weight heavy yet delicate, and rushed toward the nearest hospital. His clothes wry of gasoline, his arms trembling, but he never slowed down. For him, this wasn't about who she was. Simply about saving a life. Before I continue with this powerful story, you want to pause and ask you something? If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the strength of ordinary people to make an extraordinary difference, then please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to Kindness Corner today. Your support keeps these life-changing stories alive and spreading. When David burst through the hospital doors, sweat and dirt clinging to his face, 3 nurses rushed to his side. The woman in his arms was whisked away on a stretcher. Doctors shouting instructions as they pushed her down the hallway. David stood there, his chest heaving, staring after her. His arms were covered in scratches, his shirt stained with her blood. But he didn't care. For a moment he felt invisible, just another poor man lost in the crowd. Yet deep inside, who wondered who she was. Her clothes, her jewelry, her car, they spoke of wealth and privilege far beyond his reach. But none of that mattered. He prayed silently that she would survive. The horrors passed like shadows creeping across the wall. David waited in Thekarider, refusing to leave, even though he had to return to work. His little girl was at daycare, and he worried about the bills piling up. But something stronger held him there. The sense that this woman's fate had become intertwined with his own. Finally, a doctor approached him and said she was stable, relief washed. Over him, so heavy he almost collapsed, he left quietly. Never expecting to see her again, convinced his part in her story was over. But destiny had other plans. 2 weeks later, David returned at home late from work, his body aching from a 14-hour shift. His daughter Lily greeted him with her usual cheer, showing him a crayon drawing of their teeny apartment, her smile the only lighting his weary world. As they sat down to eat a simple dinner of rice and beans, there was a knock at the door. David frowned, surprised no one ever visited. When he opened it, his breath caught. Standing there, elegant yet fragile. Waist woman he had carried from the wreck, dressed simply this time, her eyes glistened with gratitude. Behind her stood a driver holding a bouquet of flowers in a large envelope. Her name was Isabella. She was not just wealthy, she was a millionaire businesswoman, Yonif, the city's most powerful figures. Butyl, the money in the world, had not saved her when she lay broken and unconscious in that street. It was David, a poor single dad, who had saved her life. Shettled him. She had spent days trying to find him to thank him properly. As Shell looked into his humble home at the little girl who shilly clung to his leg, something stirred in her heart. This man had risked everything for a stranger, and yet lived in poverty so deep it was heartbreaking. David was embarrassed by his surroundings. The peeling wallpaper, the broken furniture, the empty fridge, but Isabella did not look at him with pity. She looked at him with respect. She handed him the envelope. Stingit was only a token of her gratitude. Inside was a check, an amount that Medea's hands tremble and his eyes fill with tears. With that money, he could pay his debts, fix their home, give Lily a better life. But more than the money, it was her words that changed him. She told him that sometimes the poorest hearts carry the greatest riches, and that Hayhod reminded her what true humanity was. In the days that followed, Isabella Visa often. She bonded with Lily, helping with her schoolwork, bringing his small gifts, and sharing laughter in a home that had long been silent. Slowly, David realized this was more than just gratitude. Isabella was changing too. She had lived in mansions, traveled, toiled, but confessed she had never felt family warmth until she met them. Two broken lives, one shattered by loss, Theather by loneliness, began to heal together. The story spread across Thessaly. Newspapers wrote about the poor single dad who saved a millionaire. People were inspired, touched by their reminder that compassion knows no luth. For David, life would never be the same. He was offered better work through Isabella's connections. His daughter received the education shed served, and his dignity was restored. But what mattered most was that hell-earned kindness as a way of coming back when you least expect it. Never sought reward, yet life gave him back more than he could have dreamed. As this story comes to a close, I want to eschew from the bottom of my heart. If David's journey touched you, if it reminded you of the beauty of kindness and the power of second chances, then please like this video. Share it with someone who needs hope. Comment with your feelings, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. These stories live because of few. Together we can spread light into the darkest corners of the world. And before we end, I have a special request for you. Please leave a comment below sharing what kindness means to you personally. Your words might just inspire someone else who desperately lends hope today.